The bottom may already be in. Bitcoin has swept the lows, it has recovered, and it is now pressing against a key resistance point. If you've been waiting for a signal, this might be it. This isn't a guess, this is structure. And in today's video, we're going to be diving into the Wyckoff accumulation that we're seeing on the smaller time frames. This is a powerful pattern that smart money uses to take positions against the herd in order to get really valuable prices in many assets. And today we're talking about Bitcoin. Let me show you how it works. And this may be Bitcoin's final stop before heading up back above the six-figure level. All right, so here's what we're looking at. It unfolds in phases. When you learn to spot these phases, you stop chasing the price and you start to anticipate the next move. Each phase is characterized by a different price behavior. So we're going to go into what those phases are. You have phase A, B, C, and D, and they are all very different. Let's turn the volume on here. Now, phase A comes after the dump. So this is a negative sentiment phase where people are assuming lower levels and there's a lot of emotion. So you can see just by the velocity of price movement here and how some of these candles were just really red, paired up with sentiment. It's really important to get on Twitter, if for nothing else, just to see the emotional side of what people are thinking. Twitter is an underrated indicator. When I'm looking for negative sentiment, I go to Twitter. I don't go to TradingView, I go to Twitter. And when I see everybody complaining and everybody calling for lower levels and everybody calling for a bear market, it's usually time for you to start looking for these Wyckoff accumulation ranges. So you got a big move down in price, big spike in volume. You've got 1, 2, 3 points. And this is where you can get a little bit interpretive. Sometimes the third point will be at a higher price. That's usually more bullish. It means that the market really overcorrected. But a lot of times you'll see something like this where it moves down. You have a seller's climax. It'll have an automatic rally and then it'll come back for a secondary test. So these 3 points represent phase 1, and that's setting the range. So it's giving you the areas of expectation to be keeping an eye on so that you can proceed to dissect the other phases of the Wyckoff accumulation. So that's phase A. Phase B is interpreted as observing volume and looking at what's happening in the volume. During an accumulation, generally what you want to be looking for is just an absence of volume. You want the volume to really dry up. If it was a redistribution, you're going to see breakouts above the range, followed by heavy volume and then an upthrust where it reverses back down and comes back down into the range and may even break the bottom of the range as well. Those are kind of characteristics that you would see inside of a distribution. But in an accumulation, you see this, where the volume just completely dries up. Look at every other phase of this trading range and look at how much volume is in these different phases. Most notably down here in phase B, it's very low volume overall. And then you can see that as price got a little bit more frisky, you've got a lot more volume coming in. Once you've identified a volume spike that stands well above the rest of the other volume, you're then going to look at the price. What did price do? Did price make a move up and then move back down and break the bottom of the range? Or did price fake out to the downside and then pump to the upside? What was the behavior of price? Because that's going to give you a hint towards what type of trading range that you're looking at. Are you looking at an accumulation or are you looking at a distribution? So this move from this fake out breakout to the bottom to this massive signal to the market, hey, we have the ability to go up. That's the sign of strength move. After the sign of strength, you have what's called a backup phase. So then at the conclusion of phase D, you have your true breakout. You could even say this is your secondary sign of strength. Now we're trending into phase E, and phase E is the uptrend. That's when you have that transition from the swing low up into the swing high. So this is the point at which things get exciting. This is when the sentiment comes back into the market. You start to see Bitcoin rally higher and higher. So based off of this move, we can start to employ different tools to make some price projections. So one tool that I do like to use sparingly, but I feel like it does have its place, is the Fibonacci trend extension. So I'm going to go from the swing low of the consolidation, the swing low of the accumulation phase, to the swing high of the accumulation phase, and then I'm going to bring it down to the low of the backup phase. And then we're going to look at a couple different levels and go with, say, the 2.618. That gets you to 101. And then if it gets really silly, the 3.618, but I don't think that'll happen all at once, but you're looking at an extended target of 105. Now, when I zoom out here and I'm looking at just the 4-hourly chart, looking at this consolidation here, I could easily see us come and retest this area of this right before price really accelerated to the downside. Anytime you see a breakdown and a fast acceleration where there's a large divergence from the slow moving average, you want to make note of that level. So that level is currently sitting at 101, which on our fib is the 2.618. So I think we can determine that there's confluence at the 2.618 and make that our targets. So beyond that point, the phase E can continue. It's kicking off the uptrend, but if the uptrend breaks, that's the conclusion of the uptrend. So yes, we have a target. We can target the 100K level. We have confluence at the 100K level. We have other ways to determine that the 100K level is definitely in play. But if the trend breaks at 100K, meaning if it takes out a swing low, then we're either going to need to create a new base, a new Wyckoff accumulation range, or some sort of V-shaped recovery, or something will need to be built at that support level, or we continue the trend and we create that higher high, higher low structure. But no matter how you look at it, I'm pretty bullish on what we're looking at here for the price of Bitcoin. And we did make entries down here at 86 in the private group. Shout out to those who took that trade. And it's looking good. I'm expecting more upside. I'm expecting that 101 to even the 107 level to get hit. So it's looking good for me. All right. So if you're looking to learn how to trade and you're wanting some insights and some guidance, I encourage you guys to join the free Discord community. It's free for now. It's not free forever. So definitely check out the links. We have limited spots available. All we need is an email and the reason why you want to join, and we will help you get set up and on the way. We can teach you the Wyckoff method. We can teach you how to use the alphanumerics indicator, which is something we didn't talk about today, but something that we use quite a bit, and give you the tools and guidance necessary for you to be able to properly navigate the cryptocurrency market and maybe get a second stream of income. Check out the links down below. All right. So, nothing here is financial advice. I'm simply sharing with you what I have seen work out in the past. I'm pretty dialed in when it comes to the movements of Bitcoin. And in my opinion, the bottom, at least the local bottom, this local swing low is in, and I'm expecting higher levels with us potentially rallying into the end of this year into next year, where 2026, I actually expect to be a bull market. Contrary to popular belief, I think we're going to see a really bullish 2026. So if you want to learn more about my strategy and how I'm navigating that, some of the coins that I'm looking at, how I'm positioning my portfolio, you know where to go. And that's all the time I have for today. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, please trade safe. We'll see you at the top.